What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters, and welcome to No Life to Metal. Going to be doing a No Life to Metal Records and Graphics update today. I've got a couple from No Life to Metal Records, and then a whole bunch from some other labels. All stuff that I've worked on, and I just want to get right into it because there's quite a bit to show here. All vinyl this time around. I'm going to start off with the latest release from No Life to Metal Records. This is a reissue of Sacred Reich's Heal. It had not been re-released on any format in years since it first came out. What, 1999? 1999 is when this thing, I think, came out. Any case, so what did I do on this? Basically, the label had no assets, so I had to recreate and I had to recreate the cover art from a CD because that's all that was available to me. It came out spectacular. I was able to, get a really good high-res scan with descreening, and it's very sharp, very clean. I doubt anybody would know this came from a CD if I didn't tell them it was. It's amazing what you could do with digital these days. I mean, descreening is amazing in itself, that you can take the printing dots away and blow something up and then reduce it down and make it look so perfect like this came out. So anyhow, yeah, so I restored the cover art, and of course I did the layout for the back and front cover, and then this one has an insert somewhere. Here's the insert. So we got pictures of the band with the liner notes kind of going around the outside of the band. Not something I usually do, something a little different. I just thought it was fun, so I did it. And then it's got the lyrics on the other side and some liner notes and thank you lists and, that kind of thing on there. And then the vinyl itself is an orange vinyl. And it's almost a creamsicle color. It's so bright, but yeah, it's got the custom center label with the knee surgery on there, and then it's got, of course, the NoLifeTilMetal graphic fist on the back. So very cool. We were very excited that Metal Blade let us work with them to release that in the US. Metal Blade released their copies in Europe, and we did ours here in the US. So we were very excited that they let us work with them on this because, I mean, No Life to Metal is a fairly new company. We've only been around since 2017. So very cool, and we're very excited about this one. And if you're interested in it, NoLifeTilMetalRecords.com, and I am telling you, and I'm not exaggerating, these will sell out. they have sold so well that they're nearly gone already. So I know they're going to sell out. And they also just went into distribution, which is big news for No Life to Metal Records and for Rox Records. No Life to Metal being a sub-label of Rox, or a partnership of Rox, and they just got major label distribution now. So you can pick up this release. You can go to Target.com, TowerRecords.com, any of those kind of places, and they are now selling this album there. So that's awesome, and it'll also be available in record stores. Record stores can order it. So. All right, this also from No Life to Metal Records. This is another thrash band. This is the early 90s. I believe this was like 1990. But this is the brand new reissue from Slaughterhouse, their self-titled album, New Jersey thrash metal. I've always loved these guys. I mean, I grew up in New Jersey, 80s thrash scene. So there's the front cover. Again, I did the cover restoration. On this one, it came out very, very well. It actually looks better than the CD version that came out originally. I was just able to get a much cleaner scan, much better graphics, and yeah, it came out spectacular. Front cover, back cover, of course, it just kind of wraps around this little image here of the meat hooks. Kind of just wraps around. But this one is on a, well, here's the insert first. So you got your lyric insert, some photographs on there. Picture of the band up in the top corner, and then the bottom corner is a picture of a slaughterhouse, an actual slaughterhouse. And let's see here. The vinyl, I believe, was kind of a red and black swirling vinyl. It's actually got all kinds of colors in it if you look closely, but let's see, I'm getting a lot of glare from the light. But yeah, you can get the idea. So it's got the custom center labels, and then, of course, the NoLifeTilMetal graphic on the back. And very cool looking vinyl. I like the way that one came out. It is opaque, so you can't see through it at all. It's very unique. I don't think I've ever seen one quite like it, but looks like it's got whites and yellows and blacks and all kind of swirled in there. And that's Slaughterhouse self-titled. And then also we have Slaughterhouse Face Reality, also on NoLifeTilMetal Records. Again, I recreated the cover. I did have this one on vinyl, so I was able to recreate the cover from a vinyl scan, which is always better if you don't have to enlarge. I still scanned it at like 3 times the resolution that I wanted it at, so that I could do some cleaning and de-screening and all that kind of stuff, so it prints nice and we don't have any moire patterns. But yeah, this thing came out really, really nice. You can actually see some of the ice cubes, which on the original just looks like they're sitting in white, but it's actually ice cubes. So if you look on the back, I recreated the whole back cover with the band photo, and behind the band you can see very light and gray. You can see they're all ice cubes back there, and of course you got the bloody ice, kind of blood dripping back from behind the photograph. Yeah, and this thing sounds spectacular. All 3 of these were remastered for vinyl by Rob Caldwell at Bombworks Sound. Rob's incredible. He does great work. I've never heard anybody complain about his mastering. He just always manages to get more width and just a higher, better sound. I mean, he's done some miracles for us. So anyhow, here's the insert. Again, it's got the ice in the background and the Slaughterhouse and the lyrics and some liner notes and thank you lists and all that kind of stuff. So anything that was in the originals is in here as well. And then the vinyl itself is on a red and like a Coke bottle clear splatter. And you can see the custom center label, and of course on the back it has the NoLifeTilMetal fist. Like I said, sounds spectacular. Rob did a great job on this one. I'm almost positive Rob Caldwell did the mastering on almost all these albums that I'm showing. So anyhow, that's the last one for NoLifeTilMetal Records. If you're interested in any of those, NoLifeTilMetalRecords.com to buy direct. You can also get them on eBay, Amazon, all those kind of places. And like I said, all these are available now at Target.com, TowerRecords.com, among others. I've seen them at several different places now. And you can also order them from your local record store. So you can get them from pretty much anywhere. Some record stores will even be carrying them, which is great. So, all right. Next up, this is Rox Records. This is the only one I'm showing from Rox Records this time. But this is a fantastic new album. Second full-length album from Motivik. It's called Renouncement. And man, this thing is spectacular. I mean, this will make my top 20 of the year for sure. Such a great thrash album. I did do the layout for this one. I did not do the cover art. The cover art was done by Seth Matoyer, I believe it was, and great job. But I did the layouts for everything else, including I kind of went, since it kind of has that castle theme in the background. I kind of went with the broken castle throughout. So you got these, very fancy gold frames around the band photos. And if you look closely, you're not going to see it here, but if you look closely and like even the CD version of this, which there is CD versions of all the stuff I showed so far, you'll see that there's like a crack in the blue marble that runs throughout this thing. But musically, this has thrash, a little modern at times, but it's really, they stick to the classic thrash sound for the most part. A lot of guest artists on here. All right, so it came in a black poly sleeve, and here is the vinyl itself. It is a splatter vinyl. As you can see, it almost looks like tiger stripes, and you can see the custom center labels. Again, it's got that gold frame. This one, the back is a little different. I've never done this before with a Rox release. Rox releases always have the Rox logo on the back, but I put the Rox release inside the gold frame this time too, so it kind of matched. And I'm really happy with how this one came out. I mean, it sounds spectacular. The musicianship is spectacular. The layout came out really well. Let me show you the insert too. There is an insert inside this one, if I can get it out of here. All right, here we go. So there is some more photos of the band, as you can see, liner notes and lyrics. So yeah, great stuff. This band, and oh, here you can actually kind of see you can see the crack between the two right there. In the. So anyhow, yeah, it was a fun project to work on. Ryan Robeck is the one of the main guys in the band, and he's a guitar player, one of the vocalists, and he's just a really nice guy, great musician. He also plays in Ritual Servant, yeah. But what else can I say? It'll make my top 20 of the year. It's that good. I'm not just saying that because it's on Rox Records. I mean, I do probably 50 Rox releases a year, and that doesn't mean 50 Rox releases make my list, but this one will. So, all right. Next up is Backbreaker Records, backbreakerrecords.com if you're interested in any of these titles. But this is Iced Earth, and This is the Melancholy EP, and as you can see, there's a hype sticker on there, which is no longer attached to the plastic, so it just kind of moves around inside my sleeve. But that's what it looks like, you know, normally. Fantastic 7-song EP by Iced Earth. These guys were at their prime here. I mean, you got Matthew Barlow on vocals and John Schaefer, of course, the main man behind the band. This has always been one of my favorite EPs, so I'm really glad it's finally available on vinyl, and even cooler that I got to work on it. So front cover, again, not total restoration. No original artwork supplied, so I recreated the Iced Earth logo. The original CD version of this came out, had like a foil stamp, silver foil stamp on the Iced Earth logo. So what I did was I created a chrome-looking logo for this particular one, since it was printing in CMYK. And you can see the back, very simple design, but it stays with the original, which is what I wanted to do on this one. Didn't get fancy on it. We kept it, you know, looking like the original, but there's the insert with lyrics to the original songs. And then there's pictures of the band, and you can see, you know, Matthew Barlow and all those guys there, John Schaefer. Yeah, these guys were at the top of their game here. I mean, this was right around the time of Something Wicked This Way Comes. I actually got to see these guys at a club with Nevermore and one other band. What was the other band? Destiny's End. Just happened to have the CD sitting right there. So that was a spectacular show. But anyhow, these things are nearly sold out already. So there were only, I believe, 300 pressed, and they went quick. So if you're interested in this Iced Earth EP, jump on it quick. Backbreakerrecords.com. You can get it there. I think it's available on Amazon and eBay as well from Backbreaker Records. And this is also what I haven't had a chance to put into a sleeve yet, but this is Lacuna Coil, Unleashed Memories. As you can see, custom hype sticker. The hype sticker says Silver Streak Vinyl. This album by Italian metalers Lacuna Coil is a landmark record that sets the standard in gothic metal, metalstorm.net. And we've got the insert, which is not coming out for me. There's the insert. Pictures of the band, as you can see. Oops. Pictures of the band. It was upside down. And then lyrics on the other side. And then, of course, the vinyl itself. You've got custom center labels. And you can see what they're calling the Silver Streak vinyl. It's kind of whites and grays and blacks. It's kind of it's pretty cool looking vinyl. So Lacuna Coil, Backbreaker Records, and Iced Earth, both available from Backbreaker Records, and those are the only two I'm showing for that label today. I will be showing in the future, let's see, I've got a list right here, a couple of Firewind albums that I worked on for them. Those will be coming out shortly. Fueled by Fire is coming out as well. Actually, that one's out and shipping, I believe. Labyrinth and some Dream Evil coming up, and there may even be some more Iced Earth stuff coming out, so very exciting about that. Excited about that. Now we're getting into Retroactive Records, which is a label you all see me show stuff from before. This is Randy Rose, Sacrificium. Again, totally recreated the cover. There was no assets available, but it came out spectacular. I scanned the CD up by like 2400 DPI, cleaned it, descreened it, and then I re-added the logos and everything else to make it nice, crisp, and clean, so there's no morays. It looks perfect. I mean, you really would have no clue. If you didn't know how I created this, you would have no clue that, you know, this had never been available on vinyl before. Front cover, back cover, kept the look of the original pretty much, but I did create and, you know, design the back cover. Randy Rose style is kind of like a doomy Danzig kind of stuff. His vocals remind me of Danzig at times. I really like this album, but his second album I like even more. But anyhow, this is a great album too. And it comes with a custom inner sleeve, insert. And this picture was actually in the original CD as well, so I also recreated it just like I would the cover. Not cheaping out just because it's something on the inside. Always want everything we release to be high quality. That's kind of the hallmark of most of these labels that I work for. They're looking for high quality. And then of course we have the custom center labels. Comes in a black polyline sleeve. This one is, I believe, on a kind of amber yellow color. Again, you can see the custom center label. And with all retroactive releases, the back has the retroactive flame. They're kind of their identity on every single one of their releases. It has that flame on it. So yeah, that one came out good. This one too was mastered by Rob Caldwell. Amazing job he did on these. They sound, like I said, spectacular. He really was able to bring out some of the low ends and it's just a widening of the sound. And I'm trying to think of how. Oh, and the highs, you know, they're all there, but they don't peak. You know what I mean? They're not like crackly or stuff like that. It's just spectacular. I don't know how he does it or what he does. I am not a sound person. You know, the only sound I do is listening on my stereo, and I actually heard the test pressings on this and approved it because it just, like I said, it sounded fantastic screaming through my Bose speakers. So when I listen to test pressings, I kind of do it usually when I listen to test pressings for a label. Like I did for this one, I tended to listen to it at least twice before I approve it. Once I'll listen to it and really pay attention to it, where I'm checking, like just following along, making sure the song's on the right side, you know, and in the right order. And sometimes I'll follow along in the lyric sheet too, just to make sure the lyric sheet is, you know, accurate as can be. And then the second time, I will lower the volume and to a normal volume. Normally, the first time I'll play it pretty loud, so I can hear it real well. Second time I'll lower it down, and I'll usually listen to it while I'm like working and listening to other stuff. You know, just working and have it in the background. Just because that's how I normally listen to music. So and. Amazingly enough, I have actually caught a few odd things that have happened in the past on test pressings, listening to it that way. So, you know, it's two different times I'll listen to it. And very rarely do I approve it on one listen. I just always want to be aware and make sure that I'm not making any mistakes, you know, because they're so easy to make. There's so many variables going on with releasing a record. Anyhow, this is the second record from Randy Rose where the name was just changed to Rose. This is called Healing. Absolutely one of my favorite records of, I mean, I've loved this thing since it came out back in, 1993. I think it originally came out on the Intense Records label. They also put out another, a live EP that I freaking love, that live EP, because there's a song on there here called On My Knees, and they do, it's this really heavy version of the live EP. It's on here too, but that one just seems to, I don't know, grab me by the jugular and not let go. But this one too, it's great. The whole album is great. Like I said, kind of dark, very Sabbath influence, and I also hear some Danzig influence as well. Really good stuff. Again, I recreated everything, front cover, back cover, because there was no originals. All I had was a CD to work from, so I literally pull this thing apart in pieces, put new text on it, put new lines, put new logos on it, and you can see the red line that goes around it, which you could barely even see on the original. I cleaned it up and made sure the red line was nice and clean. I used that red line throughout the whole thing. You can see the frame is on the back too. Band photo, and then of course the insert is here is the insert. So you got liner notes and lyrics, of course, and then the vinyl itself. Again, we got custom center labels, and I believe this one was on a swirling red vinyl. Yeah, although mine doesn't have quite the amount of swirls that I've seen other people's, but you can kind of see some of the black running through this thing. Again, custom center label, and then on the back it's got the retroactive flame. Again, sounds fantastic. One more great job by Rob Caldwell, who, like I said, just, I don't know. We just have a great team at Retroactive label, Retroactive Records, and you know, we have you know, me as the artist. We've got Rob Caldwell doing audio. We've got John DeLaurentis, who does all the copy editing. And what copy editing is he's proofreading everything right from the you know, making sure the front title's spelled wrong, because like I said, I retyped it. There's always a chance, you know, that I hit a typo, you know, so he checks everything right down to the little itty bitty numbers on the spine here. You know, all that stuff's got to be right. UPC numbers got to be right, because if this thing goes into distribution, it's got the wrong UPC, it just causes havoc for the label and the distribution company. So all right, still on Retroactive Records. This is actually, I believe this is the second album. The first one's over there. Titanic. This is Full Steam Ahead. Cool cover art. This is the original cover. Once again, recreated it. Didn't have the original anymore. And then I created the back. Completely created the back. Nice picture of the band on the back. Again, black polyline sleeve. You can see the custom label the retroactive flame on the back. And this is on a steam vinyl, or smoke, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, it's kind of hard to see here, but it's clear. It's a crystal clear vinyl with black smoke just running throughout the whole thing. It came out really cool. I've seen other smoke vinyl where people said it, you know, it looks like smoke, and it really doesn't. This one actually has that kind of smoky look, which I'm really pleased with. And then, of course, there is the center, the insert, not the center label, the insert with photos and lyrics of the band, and you see, yeah, that one came out really nice. Titanic are just straightforward, old school. Very much in this album was recorded mostly in the early '90s. I don't think it was released until the 2000s. Let's see if it might actually be on here. Yeah, 2000. It didn't actually finally get released until 2007, but it was recorded back in the '90s, early '90s. So it kind of has that '80s old school, you know, kind of Judas Priest heavy metal style. If you're familiar at all with Bill Mention, he's the guitar player in the band. Bill played in a lot of different bands, but yeah, it's just old school heavy metal, really, really hooky stuff. Quite like the band a lot. This one here I haven't had a chance to put in a sleeve yet. But this is the first Titanic. This is Maiden Voyage, and as you can see, it actually is the Titanic on the front there. And then the back cover I recreated completely. It's obviously a picture of light coming down deep from the water, which I thought was very cool. With some pictures of the band that I stylized quite a bit. You can see Robert Swedish Striper is on here. He actually played the drums on this album. This is on a blue vinyl. You can see once again the retroactive flame on the B side, and has the photo and lyric insert. Again, you can see the deep blue water kind of theme running throughout the whole thing. Yeah, I'm pleased with the way this one came out too, and it sounds again spectacular. So if you know the band Final Acts, it sounds not too far off from Final Acts, being that I believe two of these guys were actually in Final Acts. So basically, Titanic, you know, formed from Final Acts. All right, now we're getting into Brutal Planet Records. This is The Awful Truth. This was originally released on Metal Blade, although it wasn't licensed from Metal Blade because that contract wore off, so we ended up licensing it directly from the band. As you can see, has a custom hype sticker, which states 1989 classic, which it is. I love this album. I've had the CD and the vinyl and the cassette forever, but this is 1998 classic featuring members of Galactic Cowboys, which it does. It features 2 of the 4 members of Galactic Cowboys, and you can see a band picture of them in the back. They were a power trio, and it says produced by Sam Taylor, who produced, you know, King's X, the Galactic Cowboys. He also worked with ZZ Top on several things. So yeah, he's kind of a well-known guy from, you know, well-known producer guy from Texas. Again, recreated the cover. Thankfully, I had a vinyl version of this one, so I was able to recreate it from the vinyl. Recreated the back as well. It's pretty close to the original. I changed it a little bit. I made the type larger and easier to read, but other than that, it's pretty much similar to the original. And then it's got the custom insert, and it's got 2 photos of the band. As you can see, it's got one from 1989 and one from 1988, when they kind of look more like King's X sitting over here. And Sam Taylor actually provided us that photo. It was an original promo photo of the band. And then, of course, it's got the lyrics on the other side. And this is can be described as nothing else but prog rock. If you like the Galactic Cowboys, King's X, Atomic Opera, and that sort of sound, that's kind of what you got going on here. And there is some heavy stuff, especially with the bass work from Monty Colvin. But I mean, this is prog rock. It's really, really good prog rock. I love this album. Highly recommended if you're into, you know, if you're into any kind of prog rock. It's just really good. But The Awful Truth, featuring members of Galactic Cowboys. And this happens to be an EP, also on Brutal Planet Records. Just had to check to make sure. It's got 5 songs repeated on both sides. It was remastered by Rob Caldwell. It's got a custom hype sticker. It's got an alternate cover. It's actually the same cover. It's just alternate cover art. The color is different, even though it's the same image. It says German thrash metal fronted by Sabrina Klassen, rushing and devastating thrash sound with influences ranging from Voivod to Slayer, extremely aggressive and probably the most intense band that has ever come up with, complemented by a solid production and tight musicianship. And I will add, also remastered by Rob Caldwell for vinyl. So this thing sounds great. So if you're into German thrash, I highly recommend it. I did recreate the whole thing again. I was given, thankfully, the artwork for the cover, but I did recreate the back cover. Obviously did all the layout, stylized the band photo. It does have an insert with pictures of the band and lyrics. And this one is on an orange vinyl. This one happens to have a Boone's Overstock sheet in it. You can see the orange vinyl custom center label, and the back's got a different custom center label. So another picture of the band on the back. So yeah, if you're into German thrash, I mean, it's fantastic. You know, if you're into thrash at all, or a thrash maniac like me, you probably know who Holy Moses is. But I highly recommend this if you like thrash metal, because it's really well done. Again, remastered by Rob Caldwell for vinyl, so it sounds great, and it sounded good to begin with. So you know, he didn't have to do much. He didn't have to do the heavy lifting on this particular album because the original sounded so good. So all right, and then one more from Brutal Planet Records. I'm sorry, this is actually Bombworks Records. Excuse me. Yes, one, two. The next three are from Bombworks Records, and these are the last three I'm going to sell. These last three I'm going to show. This is Winter Solstice. The name of the album, The Fall of Rome. Winter Solstice are Virginia's metalcore merchants for fans of Unearthed, Shadows Fall, and All That Remains on Sunflare vinyl. This, again, I recreated the cover art. I think it came out spectacular. The back cover art, simplistic, but works well with the front cover art. Inside has the lyrics on one side, Declaration of Independence all tore up and burned on the inside, and the vinyl. It does come in a polyline sleeve, black polyline sleeve. It's got this really cool, like, gold, well, here it is. It's hard to explain it. Kind of has a gold look with some red in it, and it's really pretty vinyl. I don't know how well it's going to come across on the screen, but yeah. Sunflare, they call it. Sunflare vinyl. Looks, to me, it almost looks metallic gold with like it's like metallic gold with blood on it. That's what it looks like to me. Yeah, but it's definitely metalcore. So I mean, I know a lot of, you know, thrash and death metal fans aren't really into metalcore, but I've heard nothing but praise for this album. I am nowhere near a metalcore expert, so I can't really tell you, how it compares to other stuff. But again, Rob Caldwell did the mastering on this, for the vinyl, so it sounds great. Winter Solstice, and the last two are the same band. I'm gonna grab the first album first. This is the band Flood, which is basically, I think 4 of the 5 members here were from Tourniquet. Tourniquet released 3 albums with a consistent lineup, the first 3 albums, and then the lineups just started falling apart after that. Ted Kirkpatrick being the only one who was remaining in the band to the end until he passed away. But then these guys got back together, Flood did, and they released this first album called Polarized. Front cover, back cover, kind of hard to see, but there's actually, like, in the background in there's an eye chart, and there's some machine parts and stuff like that. It's very faded intentionally. Okay, then you got the insert, and as you can see, there's 3 of the original members of Tourniquet. I said 4. I think it was 3, because there you see Gary Lanier on guitar. He's over there, here. In the center, you got Guy Ritter, who was the original vocalist. And then you've got Eric Mendez over here, who played on the 2nd and 3rd, I believe, Tourniquet albums. And I think he actually played on the 4th one as well. And also, I believe Gary played on the 4th one and the 5th one. And Guy sang on the first 3. So those guys all together. And then you've got David Husvik on drums from Extol. And then Anna Santina on bass, the female down here. This is very, very well done. If you like the first 3 Tourniquet albums, do yourself a favor and check it out, because that's exactly the style they went for on this, and that's exactly the style they delivered. Very progressive, technical metal, pushing towards thrash at times. I wouldn't call them necessarily a thrash band, but they definitely push towards that sound. And this has got a moon red vinyl. It's opaque, and you can see the custom center label. Bombworks Records, who also put out the Winter Solstice. And then finally, the last one that I'll show you is today, if I can get this back in the polyline sleeve, is the 2nd album from Flood, which is Ripped into Exile. Ripped into Exile. And the cover art, which I did not do, the cover art was supplied by the band, nor did I do the logo. This is kind of an Adam and Eve, in the garden kind of theme. If you look way in the back here, you'll see like there's a little snake right there. You see him? Well, that snake actually runs through the entire thing. You can see his body kind of wraps around, and it's like just pops in and out all over the place. So really interesting theme, the Adam and Eve garden theme. But again, I did the layout for this one, front and back cover. It is on a green vinyl to match the the tree of life, I suppose is what it is. Again, got custom center label, and you've got two of the members of Tourniquet still playing on here. So you've got Guy Ritter and Gary Lanier. J.O. Miguel was on guitar, replacing Eric Mendez for the second lead guitar. And there's your insert with your liner notes and your lyrics. So yeah, that's it. That's my graphics lineup, graphics video for today. Tons of stuff that I had there. I've got a lot more to show too. I mean, I've got C's like crazy, and I didn't even show all the vinyl. I've got 4 Petra vinyl sitting here that I could have showed. I'm thinking I'll just do a separate Petra vinyl video since I got 4 of them. Just got so much to show. So I will be doing more in the near future. I apologize for the delay in doing these videos, but as you can see, I've been very busy, so that's a good thing because that's what I do for a living. So anyhow, I appreciate you all watching. God bless. Stay strong.